We're going to get even colder as the temperature falls and the wind continues to blow in here by early Sunday morning. That is certainly going to be a deal. And then a little bit of improvement, but just a little one as we get into Sunday afternoon. At least Sunday, the sun will be out, but whoa, man, what a day. With the temperatures down below freezing and the sun out and snow on the ground. Speaking of snow, here's the lingering snow bands, right? They were starting to wind it down as far as not looking for a whole lot in the way of additional snowfall, but it's still flying. Commerce, Jefferson, Athens, Watkinsville, down towards Morgan County, Social Circle, into Covington and Newton County, but ending back out to the northwest. Nice little burst there in Jasper County, a little bit of Putnam down towards Jones County in middle Georgia. And the bulk of this now is moved off into east central Georgia and into the Carolinas. And we kind of catch our breath on that as far as no more big additional snowfalls. But man, the temperatures, they are brutal. Here's what it looks like right now. That's a live look of Main Street and Helen up in White County with some treacherous road conditions. And once we go to sunset and it gets dark out, it's going to be hard to differentiate between the pavement and a little glaze out there. So, yeah, well, we had all the snowfall. Please take it easy. We'll talk about temperatures into the rest of the weekend and next week. That's coming your way in a few minutes.
All right, David, thanks. And drivers who may have had to brave the elements may be taking things slow today, but there's been a number of accidents. We want to show you, get out to a piece of video here that we were looking at earlier. Unless we don't have it, then we'll get out to our Ariel Onstadt. All right, let's do that. Let's get out to Fox 5's Ariel Onstadt.
She's in Sandy Springs. Ariel, closer to town, there were a few bands of light snow, but not nearly as much as up in the mountains, right?
Nah, Russ, not nearly as much as up in the mountains. I wish I could have a sledding adventure, but I'm just going to take you on a light snow journey instead. You can see there, so kudos to the people playing there.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to go anywhere near that.
I don't even want to be in the stands, let alone the field, like rolling around in it. My goodness.
Yeah.
You know,
in the meantime,
you see
the guys
people
watching
like in, yeah, in Wisconsin, you know, like all bundled up. That. Not my cup of tea, as they might say.
All right, Ariel, thanks.
All right, coming up, we will keep tracking the weather conditions.
Show up in the mail or possibly, deposit it directly to your bank account in about 6 to 8 weeks. So a lot of great news coming out of the Capitol today, Ariel.
Idra, it's nice when our lawmakers can work together and nice when it means more money in our pockets. So one of the big questions I had was going to be on that relief bill as it relates to income tax, and you explained it so perfectly. My thought, with all of this going on is now I'm thinking back, did I get my rebate last year? And I'm like, I need to go to the state's website and check this out. I feel like a lot of our viewers can probably relate to being like, let me check my status, see how things are, so that way I know when I could get this money. And you said as far as the gas relief, that is coming here soon. We heard from the governor here in the next few days we could see those prices start to come down. Is that accurate to say?
That's right. And as far as the tax return, several factors come into play. For instance, as I said, you would have to have filed filed for taxes here in the state of Georgia, filed for taxes in 24 and 2025, so 2 years in a row. And then also, if you owe taxes, you won't get that money. Say for instance you're single, you won't get that $250. That $250 will also actually be applied to the money that you owe the state. So get a little break there if you owe money. Yeah, so a lot of factors come into play.
Good to know, Deidre. I appreciate it. Good to think about as we start tracking this. I'll let you get back to it. We'll see you again later this evening. So Deidre Dukes, thanks so much for your reporting this afternoon.
It's just a temporary fix, Buck.
Some concerning news. The FBI in California putting out a warning that Iran could target somewhere in the state of California with drone attacks. So what do we know at this point about this assessment?
Yeah, that was some concerning news that came out yesterday. I can say that Fox News did review this FBI bulletin that was sent out to local agencies in California. And it's important to note that this information that was included in there was all unverified and unvetted threat. It does not appear that this was a credible threat, so people in California can rest easy on that one.
Certainly good news there. Rebecca. Rebecca Castor live for us this morning in Washington, D.C. Rebecca, thank you. We're going to dig a little bit more deeper into that. Domestic security concerns continue as new documents showed that the Iranians plan to attack on American soil or retaliate on American soil. The FBI issued that alert last month, warning local law enforcement of potential Iranian drone strikes in California. That's according to those reports that Rebecca just mentioned. The confidential alert said Iran planned to conduct a surprise attack on the West Coast, an event of U.S. military action. The FBI said in the report they received information on the potential attack in early February. Governor Newsom says his Office of Emergency Services is working with authorities to protect the state. He's not aware of any imminent threats, and a threat assessment by the Department of Homeland Security said that while Iran, quote, probably poses a threat of targeted attacks on the U.S., a large-scale physical strike was unlikely. President Trump said on Wednesday that he was aware of the potential threat.
Investigated, but you have a lot of things happening. And all we can do is take them as they come. The war itself is being prosecuted as well as anybody has ever seen. And this is other countries telling.
Trump says he plans to finish the job in Iran during remarks at Verse Logistics. That's in Kentucky. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about the war.
We want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right? Over the past 11 days, our military has virtually destroyed Iran. Tough gun. Their air force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours. They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment. They don't have anything. Their missiles are down 90%. Their drones are down 85%. We're blowing up the factories where they're made left and right. And frankly, nobody has ever seen anything like it. Nobody's ever seen anything like what you're witnessing now, and that can include the original killing of Soleimani and al-Baghdadi, two of the worst killers that I did, as well as Operation Midnight Hammer, where we Middle East knock out Israel. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know. They got hit by the American military. They don't know. They're saying, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this.
And this all comes after the Pentagon reported to Congress that the U.S. cost of the war was more than $11.3 billion in just the first 6 days. So let's talk a little bit about the global economic impact of this. Some of the wealthiest nations in the world, they're taking steps to offset growing concerns over the economic impact of the war in Iran. Many agreeing to dip into their oil reserves to stabilize the energy market. Concerns growing over surging oil and gas prices amid this conflict. From small towns in Ohio to cities in western Germany. To counter the spike, the International Energy Agency announced it will release 400 million barrels of oil from the emergency reserves, the largest in its history, and the U.S. will contribute 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The president says the move will help reduce prices as U.S. and Israeli forces continue their bombardment of Iran. The release comes as the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil route, remains nearly closed, with Iran threatening ships belonging to the U.S., Israel, or their allies in the water have slowed, or mines rather in the water have slowed traffic. Although U.S. forces, they do say they have taken out dozens of Iranian ships capable of laying mines in that area. According to the Energy Department, the U.S. will begin releasing those oil reserves next week.